Continuing now with the Halachot of the Pesach Seder, I think we'll jump into now some of the laws of Motzi Matza, eating the matzah, and the halachot that pertain to it. So we know, we've explained already the idea of matzah shemura. When we were making matzah that day to Rabbi Chaim, we gave that brief overview of baking matzah. But the idea of matzah shemura is that the grain was protected or was watched over from the time of harvest. When we eat our Seder night matzah, we strive to take matzah shemura. That's practically most of the handmade matzah that we buy nowadays is matzah shemura. They also have some machine-made matzah shemura, but it doesn't matter about the shape. We've explained that. It matters of that the grain was protected, was watched over from the time of harvest to ensure no water came in contact with this flour. So l'chatchila we take matzah shemura for the Seder night, and we use that for our matzat mitzvah, and we make the bracha of hamotzi and achal matzah on that. Now, what about machine versus handmade? So if we discuss this briefly, we'll explain it very briefly again. There's a big machloket haposkim regarding machine versus handmade matzah. It's a relatively newer discussion because think back a couple centuries ago, they didn't necessarily have machine-made matzah. It was all handmade. So the idea behind what's the problem with machine is it made by person or not? Meaning, is there kavanah to fulfill the mitzvah or not? We know when you make matzah, you have to have the intent to make the matzah. Does machine suffice? So big machloket, not to discuss that right now. The Chatchila, Rabbi Chaim Ravadi explained that for the Seder night, we should strive to use handmade matzah. But if you don't have enough handmade and you have machine-made that's shemura as well, you could use that as supplement as well. But l'chatchila, we try to make the bracha on handmade matzah. Now, how does it work? What's the procedure exactly? So there are varying minhagim. We're going to follow our custom, the Shari minhag, and also how Ravadi explains it based on the Arizal, that we pick up. There's 2.5 matzot, meaning by yachas we already broke one. So there's 2.5 matzot. We pick those up. We say hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Then we release the bottom of the 3. So now we're in theory left with 1.5. And then we say al achilat matzah. Why do we do this? So we do this because we need 2 full matzot for lechem mishneh to be as the lechem mishneh we have for Shabbat and Chagim, where we always take 2 loaves of bread. So the 2 full matzot are the lechem mishneh, and then that crack, that broken matzah in the middle, that's the lechem oni. That we remind ourselves that this bread is the bread of affliction, the bread of poor people. So that's why we start off with 3. We say hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We drop the bottom and we say al achilat matzah, holding the 2. There are very minhagim. The Grad doesn't like this idea so much, but this is our minhag, and that's how we do it. Then we break the matzah. We eat from the top one, and there's a discussion of how many kezetot, how many olives volumes in size you need to have. The chatchila, they say you should have 2, but Rabbi Chaim explains, and so does the Rav Ovadia, that even if someone has any difficulty eating matzah, they can have 1 plus, meaning based on the Mishnah Berachot that all you need to have is a little bit more than 1, so 1 kezait and plus, and that's enough. So some people want to say you need 1 kezait for hamotzi, 1 kezait for achilat matzah. Rabbi Chaim, based on the Mishnah Berachot, explains that really 1 kezait and then a little more is enough, because when you say hamotzi, I don't have to eat a kezait of bread when I have a hamotzi during the week. You have a little bit, you taste it, same thing applies by matzah, a little bit plus the kezait of matzah for achilat matzah. So that's brief overview for Motzi Matza, how much you have to eat, how we have to eat it, and obviously as I was saying, you should eat it while leaning to your left, like everything else. We've discussed that in the past as well. Have a wonderful day.